Hi, everybody. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? Hi, everyone. Come on in. Make sure that I'm okay. Hello, Miss Abena. How are you? Hello, Mr. Professor. How are you doing? Hello, Muskino, Mus Kino. I hope I didn't murder your username. You are quite early today, Miss Abena. Thank you, Academy, Mr. Professor. How are you? Hello, Miss in the Sanctuary. Godson. Hey, listen. Alarun Kakumi. Good evening. Body underscore B. Hello. Toluwa. Thank you for today. Oh, you are welcome, Mr. O. You are welcome. Nice to meet you today and speak with you. I hope you got some information that'll be useful. Thank you. I missed everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. Last Thursday I had to be in New York for work. Um, and yes, people are like, "Has this travel for interviews?" Yes, I do. I do. That's a New York work. I was like, yeah. So, yes, it's a red day today. Oh, well, this is pink. Is this pink? I think so. Listen, let's put this hand on. It's red, and of course, I had to get back to red. There's everywhere. There's red everywhere. Everywhere in my life, there's red. Every single space. Because I'm looking like I got a red pillow, red blanket. Would this be red? I think. I don't know. It is what it is. Hi everyone. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I was going to say Thursday. It's a new week. This is like my Monday. And it's been a long day, and I would get to that in a little while, but it's been a long day. Welcome in. Hi TikTok family. Hello Facebook and YouTube. My eyes were messing with me. I thought the nails were red and future pink. What's that? It is. So my hand is dry. What's my moisturizer? Hey T, the moisturizer on. Yeah, it is. My left hand is. T, give me some moisturizer, my. Because I already say we can't afford to be what. Get the container so that I can refill it. Which one are you talking about? Just give it, put it on my bathroom counter. Whichever one needs to be refilled. I make my own moisturizer. Um, T, give me yours, cause you're not going to see where mine is, and don't mess up my closet. You wash your hands a lot. What makes you feel so? My hands are just dry today. But anyway, welcome in everybody. Hello, Mr. And how are you? Um, welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. If you are just joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining in from, your city, your state, country, whatever the case may be. Hey, son, is this the one you think? No, not this one. That way. Well, you have a whole lot of moisturizer. This is what I make, people. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is what I actually make this myself. Which one are you talking about? I use first. It is made of cocoa butter, shea butter, coconut oil, um, coconut oil. What else do I put in it? I can't give you all my secrets. See what difference that makes. Yo, I started making moisturizer when TJ was a baby because he has very sensitive skin, extremely sensitive skin, and nothing worked still. Hey son, here you go. Yeah. Put them on my bathroom counter so I can refill it for you. The one in your school stuff. You want to say hi to everybody? Come on, baby boy. Come on, baby boy. Ignore his hair. Like, we're learning how to drive. Y'all pray for me. Wish me luck. But anyway, what your friend will still get that recipe. She will beg you to take the one you. I'm telling you. But anyway, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm an immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case type that we handle, we can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. Like I said, I was just in New York last week. I'm heading to, well, it's in Montgomery, Alabama. Then I'm heading to New Orleans. And then I have another immigration court case in Houston. So it doesn't matter what state you live in. TJ, everybody says hi. So the rights and memories. No, wish me luck. Me, the teacher. Because it's been, my oldest is almost 21. So it's been at least 5 years I taught anyone how to drive. And so we're starting all over again. So his dad teaches him when he's at his dad's place. And then when he comes home, we're starting. So fingers crossed. But anyway, so if we can help you with your immigration case, contact our office 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 is our email address. We'll be glad to represent you and honored to represent you in your immigration case. All cases start with a paid consultation. We are done with our August. We had a special going on for the 30 minutes in August. That's done. That was birthday month. Now we're coming up on God willing 10 years since the 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 law firm has been established. So October 2015. Cannot believe it's almost 10 years. Like, y'all, it feels just like yesterday. It was just a plan, a law license, because I wasn't licensed in New York then, right? Yeah. Law license in Alabama, a plan, and a whole lot of prayers. Like, have zero clue what the future held. But I knew that as long as I trusted in the one who holds my future, we'll be fine. And 10 years later, almost 10 years later, to God be the glory. He has been faithful. God's goodness and mercy. And we're in boldly golden. I have this tattoo on my left arm. It says God's own. It's a reminder, because if I one day I'll tell y'all the story of this. This is my very first tattoo that I got, but there's a story behind it. It's a testimony behind it, but yeah, but it's just a reminder of God's faithfulness. So what a God, a whole decade. Yes. And I was 21 when I started. I'm still 21 today. Ignore the gray hair. Visit us on our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Like, follow, share, subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all social media platforms, WhatsApp. We do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is strictly for messages, but you can call us during our normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. After business hours, my assistant Lydia on WhatsApp and social media basically would be glad to respond to whatever text messages you have. So contact us and let us know. I wanted to know how long does it be. All right, so put your questions in the comment section. Usually get to questions at the end of what we want to talk about, and what we want to talk about today is rather very important. If you know anyone who is in the process of getting their papers, who just got their papers, or you've got family members going through an immigration process, you need to tell them to come listen on, because things have, the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court has set things ablaze, quote unquote, because now we are living in uncertain times. I'm telling you. So what are we talking about tonight? Supreme Court ruling on racial profiling. So welcome in, TikTok family. Hello, everybody on TikTok. Nice to have everyone in. And let me just take a moment to say thank you so much for always joining. I do not take it for granted. Hello, Mr. Gunviadi. Oh, talking of New York, shout out to Mr. Tunde. Forget his last name now. But Mr. Babatunde that saw me in New York on Friday. I love New York City. So I was just after my work, I was just doing a city tour, and by city tour, I mean shopping. It is what it is. We listen, we don't judge. So I think he works with those tour bosses and all that. So I just felt someone tapping him like, "Hey, aren't you that lady, the woman on the immigration attorney?" Like, I think so. But it's refreshing to know the support that you get, because he actually pulled out his phone, and my page, our business page, Instagram page, is literally on his Instagram. I was like, "Hey, this is you. I follow you every Tuesdays and Thursdays and all that." And I do not take such things for granted. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And it was nice meeting you, Mr. 𝒊𝒎💏. If you're watching, it was an honor and pleasure to meet you on Friday, I believe it was. And thank you for the support. Okay, what's been going on? And this hits you like show. No comment. I will deal with you later, Mr. Sanctuary. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. What can I say? Supreme Court ruling on racial profiling. So this is really serious, y'all. Need to tell whoever it is you need to be. This is really serious. So there was this administration started targeting immigrants in Los Angeles, California, and so they filed, and by the state of California filed a lawsuit. And the circuit court, the federal court, decided that it was racial profiling. And so basically what ICE was doing was they will literally stop people who were brown skinned, dark skinned, have a different accent in specific job locations where they believe that immigrants were, or they would find immigrants, and basically racial profiling. That's what it was. Because if looking at someone and saying, "Hey, you must be an immigrant because of the way you speak, because of the way you look, because of where you work," that's what was going on, and they were arresting people and picking people up. California filed a lawsuit. The court sided with the state of California, saying that what was going on in Los Angeles was racial profiling and unconstitutional, and ICE could not, arrest people just based on what they look or how they spoke and all that. The administration filed, so there was an injunction, and then they filed the appeal to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest court of the United States. That's the court that makes the final decision when it comes to judicial issues. There's no appeal beyond that. That's the final one. Yesterday, September 8th, Supreme Court decided, I don't want to miss go. So let me go back to, so the Supreme Court decided on Monday, September 8th, that, and so they actually overturned that injunction that was in place. So basically saying that they lifted the restrictions the district court federal district court had put in place, lifted the restrictions. The restrictions basically was saying that federal agents, ICE, had to stop discriminating against people of color based on how they look, and that's how they were targeting people to know if they were immigrants or not, and then they would ask questions to find out if they were documented or not. So yesterday, the Supreme Court, in a majority decision, I think obviously Republicans versus Democrats, as usually how it's been going, they decided to reverse that injunction. So basically, what does that mean for immigrants? That basically means that they are saying that what this administration was doing in Los Angeles is completely okay. So they have given the green light to this administration to continue to racially profile immigrants based on how you look. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution is the provision against illegal searches and seizures. So basically, unless there is and there are exceptions to that, and usually I do criminal defense, and so unless there is, there, like I said, there are different exceptions, maybe plain view, or something is imminent where the evidence is going to be, destroyed, things like that. Generally, you would need to have it's unconstitutional to have unlawful search and seizures just based on what you look like, or because I just believe that someone like you would be a criminal without any basis, without a search warrant, without a justification. However, this basically is almost like in violation of the Fourth Amendment, because now it allows ICE agents to actually stop people who they believe are illegally here in the United States. So what we can expect would be people who look like you and me, people who are Hispanic. If you sound different, like we have accents, if you sound different, you sound un-American, quote and unquote. People who usually work in places where a lot of immigrants will work. So you're talking, healthcare services, you're talking constructions, you're talking agricultural places, you're talking retail stores. So places where they can find, or they will find immigrants working. If you look, like I said, if you look a certain way, if you speak a certain way, the Supreme Court has basically given them the go ahead to say, yes, you can. And I was reading part of I haven't finished reading the whole thing, but just before I came, I just wanted to give myself some information to pass across to you and just to explain that. So their reasoning was that there are almost like 15 million undocumented immigrants in the United States. And until the Congress is able to put something in place, provide a path to legalization for those, it makes sense to allow this administration to continue profiling, because that's the only way that's the only way they can actually control what's going on and remove people who shouldn't be in the United States. That's basically what that was, the opinion was about. So right now, as it stands, it's not just going to be in Los Angeles. And I know that they are planning something in Chicago as well. So you can expect that this is going to continue, because if the highest court of the land has said this is fine, and now lifted the injunction that was in place, obviously there's nothing stopping them from doing that in other places. So what is the takeaway from that? You've got to be very careful. If you do not, and another reason why today has been a tough day, and let me that's a segue into that. So I've got this client, and I convert your prayers for my clients. If you hear nothing else this evening, hear me loud and clear. I've been telling my clients, and I've also said it several times on here, questions about, can you travel? Can you not travel? I always say, make sure you talk to your attorney or consult with one. But even for my clients, whenever I consult with they consult with me, and we talk about, whether or not they should travel based on each person's the specific case, I can tell you, yes, travel. By the end of the day, I would always say, and I'll send you an email to follow, like, hey, I don't anticipate any issue, but there's never any guarantee. It's, if you don't have to travel, then stay back. But if you have to travel, just make sure we can contact you. You can contact us. Keep us on. Let us know when you get back into the country. All that good stuff, right? So I've been seeing quite a bit of my VAWA cases, people who have pending adjustment of status related to VAWA petitions that travel at an advanced parole. Almost all of them who have been traveling recently, not only are they being placed in secondary inspection, which is expected when you travel at advanced parole, but we're seeing CBP, hey, Miss Neji, how are you? CBP officers called in ICE, and they're being questioned, because keep in mind there's quite a bit of investigation when it comes to VAWA, because they believe that a lot of people have abused the VAWA program, which understandably so. There was just an attorney based out of New York that was convicted. I think he was sentenced to 70 months or something. Don't quote me on that, because he was filing fraudulent VAWA cases for people, and they end up not having any proof, just to get them the work permit and all that. So that's part of what is causing the investigation, which understandably so. But what that has not created is, if they ask you, okay, what kind of case do you have? You have a pending I-360. They're probing more into those cases to the point of one of my clients who has, and he, luckily he was able to come. He was questioned for almost 3 hours, but he was released eventually. When he was released and they gave him back his papers, he told me, well, hopefully you're not one of those that filed a fraudulent or frivolous vow. We're going to be something along the line of we're watching you kind of thing. And then I had another client who has his green card. He already has his green card. And I just remembered something. Okay, hold on one second, people. Okay. I just remembered that I needed to email him. That's the client. Has his green card. Came back from India recently. And he was placed in secondary inspection and questioned about why did he file for VAWA? How long did he take? Who's attorney? He asked about my information. How did he get to know about me? This is someone who already has his green card. So that's what we're seeing a whole lot of. So, it segues into this from this Supreme Court thing into this. It's still all about this profiling thing, right? You're talking about, giving them the flexibility or the go ahead, for lack of a better phrase, to just profile immigrants and ask questions and just do whatever. So that happened, but so that's been what we've been seeing. And so for me, I've been telling people, listen, if you don't have to travel, the advanced world is very tempting, but if you don't have to travel, please stay back. And then today, come to find out, no, was it today? Yeah. Well, today has been trying to get the location of my client. We finally found where he is. I have a VAWA petitioner who traveled, and I was aware he was traveling. There's nothing, and I'm hopeful that he will be released, but nothing in his history that should have led to him being detained. But he was actually detained. So arrived back at the airport, valid advance parole. No, he's never, he doesn't even, this is the first thing he's ever filed. No previous case, nothing. And they detained him. So it's been a very long day. It's been a long day. So if I seem like it's been a long day from getting someone who is close to where he is in Washington, D.C., putting his file together, getting his brother, getting his church member. It's been quite a day. Then I had to get another colleague, and it was like, and the person was like, okay, how do you get paid for? Because it obviously is not part of my representation. I'm not getting paid for this. I need to make sure my client is out of detention. That's what matters for me. So I say all that to say this: as much as we, God is in control of everything, but we have to be also sensible and ask for wisdom to move during this specific time that we find ourselves in. If you do not have to travel, if you don't have to travel, whether it is domestically or internationally, please just stay where you are. And I say domestically because if now the Supreme Court is saying that ICE agents can profile immigrants, they are at the airport. Obviously, if they're not at the airport, then my client would not be detained as we speak. They are in and also in domestic flights. Now, I want to make something clear. Sometimes, even domestic flights, you say that's within the United States. But here is the thing. Sometimes you just never know what airline you're going to get on, and they have to make a detour somewhere, right? That somewhere may be somewhere where there's quite heavy ICE presence, or that detour can include going outside of the United States territory, where you now need a visa or proof of citizenship or permanent residency to come back in. If you are on a plane like that makes a detour, you've got to now on board, and then you have to now book another flight, meaning they have to do immigration check and all that. How do you get back in? So it's not just about, okay, I'm just going to Florida, from Florida to Texas. You just never know what's going to happen. The weather can change. They may have an emergency. You just never know what's going to happen. But internationally, even if you have an advanced parole, if you do not have to travel, if you don't have to travel, like this is a client that there's some of my clients that have a history of, especially with immigration, like, this I'm not saying, but it's still not your ultimate decision. This is not, and the thing is, he didn't travel just to travel. His sister is sick. His sister is critically ill. He had to go see his sister back home, and just coming back and trying to just come back to his life. And so this is not the client that I would have expected them to stop at all. So if this can happen to him, please understand it can happen. So what some of my clients who had trips planned the rest of the year are coming up like, listen, here's where I stand with this. It's a hard no for me right now. It's your choice, but understand, if you get, I ain't going to stress myself because I've already so it's hard especially if you got an emergent situation or whatever, but that's just the reality of what we're seeing. So if you do not have to travel, it's best for you to just hold off. Given what the Supreme Court has now allowed, which is basically, that is just what it is. Call it spade a spade. That's why my topic today is Supreme Court ruling on racial profiling, quote unquote. That's what it is. And they, in no uncertain terms, they've already said that's the way that this administration is going to be able to control what's going on with the immigration epidemic until there is a better policy in place. So that means that they have freelance now to just go after anybody, the way you look, whatever it is. So now you've got to be very careful. If you've got a pending case, have all proof of your pending case. And people are like, I had a consultant like, okay, with everything that's going on, should I even file? I think I should just not file anything and just stay where. No, not filing is actually more risky than filing, because if you qualify for something, you're eligible for marriage-based case, asylum, whatever case may be, so say for instance you have nothing pending, right? And you think you're safe, but you just never know. You go to Walmart and they're doing a raid, and you end up being part of the raid. They take you to detention, or you're issued an NTA. What is going to be your defense to removability? You've got to have a relief from being removed. What is your application for relief going to be? That's not the time you now want to scramble and start saying, okay, I'm going to file for asylum. If you've got something, a marriage case pending or a violent case pending, that is something you can use as a defense in court. Like, well, yes, I don't have my green card yet, but I've got something pending with USCIS. Even if you end up in immigration court, you can always file it for it to be application, which is equivalent of a green card or whatever, or based on your pending case with USCIS, that may defer your hearing in court. That's way better than not having anything, and then it looks like you're just filing something just because now you've got to file something. So, and then we're still seeing, because cases are still being approved. We still had a green card approval over the weekend and all. Cases are still being approved. It's just that there's more scrutiny and all that going on now. So having proof that you've got a pending case can be very helpful. So racial profiling is basically what the Supreme Court has okayed that it can continue doing that. The injunction has been lifted, so that's what we're seeing. And another thing is, those who are, if you came in without inspection, meaning you didn't come in with a visa or you were paroled at the border and you are detained, the BIA just also ruled, I think it was last week, that people in such situations are no longer entitled to have bond. And so they're just going to remain in detention until they're removed. There's quite a bit going on. It's not to scare anyone. This is just to let everyone be informed, because the more you know, really, I say that all the time, but the more you know, knowledge is power. Once you know, the more you know, you will be able to make the best decisions for you and your family. So that's basically what we have to talk about tonight. That's all she wrote. Don't travel. Let's just leave it alone. Okay. All right. Let's get to as many questions as possible. Please do not repeat your questions. Put your questions in the comment section. I'll try to get through as many as I can. Let's see. Hello, Miss Rashida. How are you? Hello, Miss Mary. Happy Tuesday. I think anything lot to know Salam office, so we'll let you know as soon as we hear something. Inga Timothy. Okay, my crush. All right then. Mr. Hamed from Iowa. Hello. Thank you, Ms. Abena. All right. Good evening. I have my VAR approved. Congratulations. And I filed for I-485. And now I have been called for an interview, but my lawyer stays in California and doesn't want to come to interview at Texas. And okay, so what's your question? Make we sit down in the house. Don't try. Well, I mean, people are still going to travel. You know, you can't. Life goes on. You can't live in fear, right? You know, faith over fear. We can't live in fear, but you've got to assess your specific. So, for instance, I'll give an example. If you had, if you had a previous marriage case, for instance, that's not your abusive spouse filed on your behalf, and that case was denied, and in that case, USCIS kind of like alleged that it was a fraudulent marriage. But it wasn't fraudulent because part of why they feel it was fraudulent because of the abuse you suffered, but you could not say anything because you're dependent on a person. But now you now have a VAR case that you now filed, and that's the one that's pending. And you are traveling. Someone in that situation, understand that it is possible for them to make an accusation at the port of entry of visa fraud. Not because there's been something that USCIS says, okay, you know, a plain 204C allegation, no. But because they have said that they denied your case and they alleged some things that made them believe that it was not a genuine, CBP officer they have access to your record. So it's not like, you know, they have access to your immigration, so they can look at it and say, hey, this is what USCIS has decided. So we've just concluded that you were engaged in the fraudulent marriage. That can be a basis for them to detain you at the port of entry, even if that was not what happened. Just to give you an example. So if you have a case like that, you're not the one that should be traveling anywhere. Now, you travel at your own risk. That's it. So really, at this point, it's a hard no for me for any of my clients. It doesn't matter what the Senate, you know, and you haven't seen your kid in 7 years. But I understand. I can empathize. I can imagine not seeing my kid for years. But with this that is going on, it's just going because I'd rather you're here and get your green card and take that time to now visit and as long as you want, than to go for the short time and then you're risking being removed completely, and then the whole point of you waiting all these years is just wasted. So that's where we stand right now, really. Okay. Has submitted VAS since November 2024. Only got EAD, no prima facie till now. How long does it take? Prima facie determination doesn't take that long, so you may have to contact them, because I've had a case where it took over a year. But when it's over a year, like they heard from me like every 30 days, to the point where they told me to stop sending emails. So I had to stop for a while, and then I reminded them again, and I think they got tired and just said, you know, finally sent my clients in PFD. But you may have to, if you have a lawyer on your case, tell your lawyer to email them, because that's going to be the fastest way to check to have to follow up on your PFD. Okay. God will absolutely. This is not, again, I want to be very, very clear. This is not to make anyone afraid. This is just to give you the information that needs to be passed across so that you can make informed decisions. Is it normal for a naturalization case to still be awaiting decision for close to 1 year? It's not like it's not abnormal, but it would depend on your case. So each person's case is different. You go to TikTok. Alrighty. Hey TikTok family, what's the time? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I made my eba already. So as soon as we are done here, on my log, attack eba, because for whatever reason I just had eba on my mind. But even the lunch that I had was like American food. It was really. I'm telling you, I've been in this country 23 years. I just don't know. I mean, we go to restaurants and we eat steak and all that good stuff. But Niger food is still Niger food at the end of the day. It is what it is. It is what it is. When your kids choose Nigerian food over anything else first, you know you're doing something right. I think. Okay, let's see. All right, some comments. Okay. Will the new immigration policy affect military members? What new immigration policy? Please do not repeat your questions. D, I'm sure I said that earlier on. Joining from Manchester, UK. Thank you, Eniola, for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can a class 4 felony affect my I-130? I don't know what a class 4 felony is. Keep in mind that criminal cases are classified or categorized depending on your state and your state's criminal code. And whether or not it's going to affect you depend on, okay, what is it? What is it actually? Class 4 is just not everybody's state is different. It's not, criminal law is not immigration in every state. They're different. And then are you the petitioner? Are you the beneficiary? What exactly is what were you charged with exactly? Anything about travel, whether as a green card holder, or advanced parole, unless you're a citizen. Obviously, if you're a citizen, you're not going to be asking. That's not a question I'm going to answer. I've said it several times. I'll say it again, not even at this time. If you're not, consult with your lawyer. Your lawyer is in the best position to let you know whether or not you should travel. Hello, Miss Zoe. How are you? Okay, let's see. TJ, keep it down, please. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, this moisturizer is everything. And it's not greasy. You see that? It's not greasy. I really think I perfected my moisturizer. My hands were so ashy. Yeah, Mr. Alexander, yeah, it's red, and so this is red and gold. This is fuchsia and silver. Listen, besides marriage certificate and courthouse marriage, what else I need to file? Just consult the lawyer to figure out what you need for your case. Okay, let's see. Is it normal? So when people ask, is it normal about, there's nothing abnormal about immigration process. I just want to be clear. There's nothing abnormal about it. Just the same way we filed, naturalization. I've had someone scheduled we filed the naturalization, I think it was back in February. They were scheduled for the interview less than 3 weeks after USCIS received, and they became a citizen less than 2 months after we filed. In the same vein, I have people who are almost Mr. K, for instance, and some of the things, some factors affected his case. But we filed his case last year, so it's almost a year, but it's going to be just a little under a year when he gets one in. It just depends. So there's nothing abnormal when it comes to USCIS immigration generally. There's nothing abnormal. Now, if something outside normal process in time, then you've got to go to uscis.gov/person in time page and see. So, and I know it's about nothing. Yes, Mr. Idris. So, is there anyone else who eats about for breakfast? We listen, we don't judge. We listen. Like my youngest kid, I have 2 boys, 20 and 15. My oldest kid would never, not in this lifetime, use his hand for swallow. Hello, Fina Shandy. Never use his hand for swallow. Not happening. Right, SJ, TJ. So your brother would never use his hand to eat 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. That's what I call it. But then my TJ, the country kid, would not use anything but his hand. Like when he tackles swallow, you would think the kid lives in Nigeria. And then come okay, but now he need more swallow skills than I do. But so hey, swallow. But TJ would eat swallow with me in the morning. My oldest kid one, you will not be. No, it's not happening. Does anybody else eat swallow for Christmas? Yes, my sister ate about cold up in the morning. That's it. See, Your sister, I think that's why I love your sister, Finance Jenny. Shout out, Shalewa. Cold eba and hot stew. Mm. My mom will tell you, forget it. Yes. So, anyway, do I need a visa to visit Nigeria with my Nigerian passport? Are we still on this issue? Like for real? I think I thought this was already done like earlier in the year. We already buried that issue since forever. Okay, so it's normal for an I-45 case to be pending after more than a year of interviewing. It's not abnormal. It just depends on why your case is being delayed. And sometimes keep in mind the delays because they're still investigating your case. They may pay you an unannounced visit at any point in time. So just something to know. Can someone who had N400 and N336 previous denial still file an I-90? It would depend on what the basis of the denial was. So you may want to consult with a lawyer to know why it was denied. When can I call you? You can call our office. We are open Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, closed from 12 to 1 for lunch. If you've got an immigration case that you want to discuss, which I assume, then you will be required to pay for a paid consultation. That's how we can discuss your case. Okay, let's see. And asked me to get a local attorney, but all the attorneys I have contacted do not want to work with me because they didn't prepare my case. Do you think it's safe for me to attend? I cannot tell you whether it's safe to attend your case because just like every other attorney you've contacted, I don't know anything about your case. The fact that your VAW was approved doesn't mean that you're not going to have inadmissibility issues. So that's something you consult with an attorney with. And then based on, because that would be my first thing, but during the consultation and based on your history is what I can now tell you. Now, you are in Houston, right? Or Houston, no, Texas. We're in Texas because I may have a referral for you and I may have someone that you can contact. You have a colleague there that you make contact. Good okra. I don't really care for okra. I don't know why. But when you talk of egusi and it would do with begri and stew, get it. Y'all, it may not look like I love eating, but I do eat a lot. Desert, Texas. We listen, we don't judge. I don't live in Texas. Is that closer to Houston or Dallas? Because I know they're far apart. Which one are you closest to? I think he would go anywhere though. When is your interview? When is your interview? Alrighty. Mr. Professor, I should be contacting you soon regarding that other case because I know Isaiah is waiting for me to complete my review on that because, yes, I have to review every file. Nothing leaves my office with that. So I usually tell my clients that the longest delay is on my end. First, the initial delays with the client getting his documents, but the longest delay when it comes to our end is with me. Actually, delays with me because I've got to review it. I can't send anything out without reviewing it. And if I've got an attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, shout out to Attorney Gosha, wonderful attorney. But because I have OCD and control issues, and because it's my name on it, and I'm sure you want to ask, since you know I shape my review case and get to send it out. I don't want to lie to you. I will not lie to you. So I have to be able to tell you, yes, it was reviewed. So I would tell my clients, hey, I got to review your file. So Sammy TV, send my assistant an email, info@olalayalawfirm.com. Info@olalayalawfirm.com. I think we may have a referral for you. He's based in Houston, but I know he would travel. And I'll be very, very clear with him that I don't know who you are. I just, you joined my program, so you're looking for someone to represent you for the interview. And so he should be able to take on, I would, if he's not busy, if he doesn't have something for that day, He should be able to take on your case. So we'll just give you his email address. He won't mind. And you can contact him and just tell him that I referred you, but be very clear that I don't represent you. So info@olalayalawfirm.com. Send an email, and I will let her know, let Lydia know you're expecting that. Let me actually email her or text her so that she will get you that information. Oh, you have not? Okay. Okay. All right. So, yeah, she'll get you that information. You're welcome. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓_couture. Hello from Canada. Thank you for joining from Canada. Hello, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. Hello, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒕. My site is still intact. Your site is intact. Can't say the same for mine. Actually, I'm due for my eye examination. I don't even want to go because every time I go for eye examination, my optometrist has something new. They have some, like, for those who have met me before, and if you're looking in my eyes, you can't really see it on camera, but people. I remember the person, because I was, after my divorce, I was engaged to somebody, and then I broke up that engagement. It's me. I'm the issue. I'm the issue. And 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Let's move on. But anyway, one of the things he noticed about when we first met, I've got this blue ring around my eyes. And if you see it, you're like, oh, that's really pretty cool and all that. I mean, it's not cool. It's it's actually a disease. I don't know if it is, but it's actually it's not normal. Let me put it that way. And the thicker it gets, then you're gonna get to the point where you have surgery. So they're watching it. So every year they have to keep watching that. It may look cool, like, oh, like there's no. It would be nice if it was, but it is what it is. So I'm glad your eyes are still intact. That's why I have so many pairs of glasses. If we can't see, we might as well see in style, right? So that's we might as well see in style. N400 costs, please. I don't have set fees. I discuss fees in the consultation. Are you the one? My assistant? My assistant said there's someone that's been bugging her down about cost and all that for N400. You're probably the same person. You'll be a very difficult person to work with if that's you, because it looks like you just don't. But anyway, Glad it be. Thank you for the New York City, Staten Island. Thank you for joining in. Welcome everyone to the most positive immigration space on social media platforms, safest space to celebrate immigration victories and ask questions about new policies with this lady right here, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Thank you for joining. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 from ATL. Okay. Hello, Miss Peggy. How are you? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 1841. Let's see. There's the roll rights in there. Well, my son says he wants my gotta love American kids. I love his faith though. I love his faith. You gotta dream big. It took me many years to buy the car. He says he wants the type of my car. He's 15. But he wants to drive the car the kind of car his mom is driving at 47. Let that sink in. We move on. Beep the latest driver in town. Mr. Ben and Mr. Sanctuary, come get him. Hello, June Crate. Good evening. Good evening. T Silver 5. Best of luck to you, but with lots of patience. Pray for me. I'm not the most patient. The day God was giving people patience before He sent us to earth, I was absent. I'll tell you, I was. I think having kids was what brought about patience in my life to some extent. I'm still a work in progress, but having kids It will teach you patience like nobody's business. TJ will be picking myself and Miss Abena from the airport when we yeah, right. Yes. And y'all will be driving whatever car he's driving. It's not going to be my last one association for your meeting, right? For your association meeting. What a whole decade, we thank God. 10 years of transforming lives, one immigrant at a time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Miss Peggy, you can come with us. Well, I just wanted to know how long does FBI check takes, because I submitted for FBI check since June this year, but it's not back. What did you do it? Did you send in your fingerprint card? What address you put in? It's best to actually just do it online. Even if you mail the card, just request that they send you your results electronically, and without knowing how you submit it. It shouldn't take that long. 3 months? No, it shouldn't take that long normally. Years, then you may be able to get um you may be able to get just a police clearance letter. Arika, good evening. I'm a soldier and a citizen. Guys, she's the best. Oh, so care about. If you have as a lawyer, you will never regret that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oladuni_fashion. Actually, Goni. Thank you, thank you. She will tell you everything you need to succeed in your journey. Aw. Okay, let's not do mushy stuff. Let's just y'all know. I get hello, Miss Basayo. Y'all stay safe. Yep. So, I don't want to use anyone's question. I went for Social Security with my EAD for my social, but they said they want to do verification. They will mail the Social Security card to me. Should I be worried? No, it's just what they have to do. Better late than never, Miss Nelechi. Well, thank you for joining. My application for adjustment of status and PR was denied, but I'm yet to receive a notice as to why that happened. What option do I have, if at all? Schedule a consultation with me to discuss your case. Let's see. God will come through. God still listen. It doesn't matter what. Let him racially profile till Jesus comes back. It doesn't, triumph over God's favor. Now I'm scared. I have a work conference next month in San Francisco, and I have approved. There's nothing to scared about. This, I want to be very, very clear. This is not to scare anyone. This is just to pass information to you, so you know. But I would not, maybe I would not anticipate any issues. I mean, you've got now. If you've got when you have a VAW approval, or you got your VAW, usually they will give you an initial grant of deferred action. So if you've got that, that's usually good for about 15 or 18 months or thereabout, and you can renew that. What that does, now, I've not had anyone, knock on wood, who's had any issue with that being revoked. It can be revoked, but sorry, Facebook and YouTube, I'm not sure what's going on. That's what that initial grant of deferred action is. So if you've got that, I don't know how long ago your vow was approved. If you have that, then go with that. Make sure you have a copy of that. Yeah, so this is not to scare anyone. This is, I was like, okay, should I? But it is what it is. You've got to know what's going on. You've got to know what's going on rather than not to know. Thank you. What happens to someone that got citizenship denied? Will the individual be deported? I mean, You can't be deported because your citizenship got denied. Obviously, you had a green card in order for you to qualify for citizenship. But if the reason you got denied has to do with the fact that you were not lawfully admitted, then obviously that's a different ballgame. So you may want to talk to an attorney to see why your case was denied to start with. Niger food is a banging, nothing like it. Hello, finest Jenny. I have an appointment with you tomorrow. Okay. All right. So we'll meet tomorrow then. I just got denied on my application to adjust. Okay, so that's the same person. Let me just talk to that. We've missed you as well, finest Jenny. Not great. Econ. In Canada. Which one is it? Okay, let's see. Nobody should do that. Eat eba with a goosey for breakfast. The yellow Gary, please. When is last resort? We're in the same. I think that's why I love you. There's nothing like I love all swallows, but eba always reminds. I think it's because it reminds of my dad. My dad and I. That's our moment. Like, my dad used to take me. I went to FGGC Akure, and we always had to, park by the side of the road. There was one, and then when I was in the University of Ilorin, yeah, my dad took me to school. And we listen, we don't judge. Y'all can judge yourselves. Was I daddy's girl? Absolutely no shame to my game. So I remember we would go through. Show promotion. Even in Yamak bad, I think it was a promotion. My mom would not know she's not, but there was this booker spot that they knew my dad's name. But about to buy I mean, it was always Eba. So so it is what it is. See, a lot of people eat one in the morning. It's not. We are the number ones. Feel exactly. People are like, yes. With all these meals, I'm gonna say, Kenny, please. When TJ and I sit down and eat, but that's a bonding moment for me and my son. Like my oldest is Oyinbo. He uses a fork and a knife to eat swallow, and we usually look at him like, "What's wrong with brother?" Like, but he could go on. Wow, use his hand. No, Jesus will come back first. But TJ and I, she can't believe I'm discussing about life. Listen, that's why we love this. This is for all things immigrants. And as part of being an immigrant. Let's see. Good morning from Nigeria. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. That's a nice name. Thank you. How can I get to talk to you? Go on our website to schedule a consultation. That's the fastest way to do that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sanctuary. Okay. Always enjoying your content. Thank you. Do you recommend using a lawyer for naturalization? Or you're asking a lawyer if I work with a lawyer? But in all honesty, there's sometimes I have a conversation with someone and I tell them, you know what? Based on this, I really don't think you need to pay me this amount to do this because I think you'll be fine. Now, I rarely say that but there's some cases that at I-90 and N400, it would just depend on your case, your background. If there is nothing to like, if you're not someone, if you're filing for naturalization and you had a child with somebody during the time you got your green card from the American spouse, but the child does not belong to your American spouse, please understand USCIS already knows you have that child. If you're planning to not put that child in your naturalization application, that's mistake number one. If you've got a case like that, it's a 50-50 chance that they may bring it up or they may not. In situations like that, it's best to have your attorney. Even if it doesn't become an issue, at least you know you had a lawyer. Then for it to become an issue, and then you're now scouting around for a lawyer. That's an example. But if you have your green card through employment, for instance, and it wasn't through marriage, and 5 years later you're filing for citizenship, that you haven't been arrested for anything, you've paid your taxes, you're involved in charity and things like that. There's nothing in your record. You don't even have a traffic violation. Like some of us have speeding tickets, we just put that on the side. Things like that. Then in cases like that, just file it online. So it just depends. It's dreaming big. There's nothing wrong in dreaming big. Let me keep dreaming. letting Q trim in. All right. All right. So, do you do adoption from that? I don't do adoption because adoption is two things. Adoption process from Nigeria, you have to go through the adoption process with the Nigerian attorney. What we do is the immigration part of it here in the United States. Are we expecting a big jump on EB2? I would hope that because the new fiscal year is going to start October, right? See this month, it's October. I would anticipate that there will be progress with that. So fingers crossed. So we'll just have to see how things go. October, so we're September. So the next visa bulletin, which is going to be October, hopefully it should be out by Friday. Let's just see what happens. Anyway, okay. So can you help me? I want to repeat my children pending since 2023. We can sit down. We can have a conversation with you and see what needs to be done, if anything. I'm hearing this things we just started a new. Okay, praying time falls. All right, no worries, Spanish Andy. No worries at all. Yes, use the lawyer for naturalization all day. Thank you, Black Wings. But that's just the way I can explain it. Is there a discount for union lawyer and online? No. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. See how I laughed at you, like a serious face was like, no. Okay, so I think what we'll do on Thursday is, the stress is released last Thursday, and I think we're due for question time. So I gotta go because even Pami for real, that advice is on my mind. I can't think of anything else. So let us pick this back up on Thursday, and we'll do questions. And I think that's the third live, so we do for question. But I want to be very, very clear. This is, please loan him your car for 1 week to continue practicing his faith till he gets his. Yeah, Jamie, I didn't get run. Keep running with that comment. I don't have it. I didn't. She didn't. But with the car notes, me too. Can I actually? No. She gone. Oh no, my number. I'm contacting. Can not with email. This is just for us to know what's going on. This is just for everybody to know what's going on, so you're informed. Just be aware, so you're more proactive about your immigration status. If you have been sitting on the fence about not filing, maybe this is the time for you to file. And also another thing, and we'll talk about more about that on Thursday. USCIS is deciding that they want to now have a different unit for special. So basically, armed law enforcement officers get ready to see that if no lawsuit is filed against that, then get ready to see when you go for interviews to see people who are actually armed, not just security guards now, people, law enforcement officers ready to arrest people if they believe that something is fraudulent or whatever the case may be. There's a whole lot going on, but know one thing, regardless of the policies, the law, all of this is man-made laws, all man-made laws. There's nothing that triumphs over God's word and what he has spoken concerning you, concerning me. So Bible says 1,000 would fall at my side, 10,000 by my right side, but they shall not come near me. Only with my eyes will I behold the world of the wicked. Meaning, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. The favor of God will speak on our behalf. The grace of God will protect us. It says, his hand shall be with us and deliver, that evil shall not grieve us. When the hand of God encompasses you, doesn't matter what's going on around you. It doesn't mean you're not, you're oblivious to what's going on. You're aware, but it doesn't take over your life because you know where the source of your power comes from. And as long as we set our eyes on him, there is no record of failure with God. There's no record of failure with God. There's no one that has trusted him that has been disappointed. So keep believing. Be proactive, but trust and believe that there's no one who can say he has done marvelous. Have seen too much of God's goodness and mercy to doubt that he's more than able and more than capable of taking care of all that concerns us. So know the information, but know where your source of power comes from. I'll see you guys.